So this evening I'm going into Cambridge and I'm going to meet RF Kuang. I've never been to an author signing before, so I'm really excited. I bought the tickets for this one, God, back in it feels like I bought them months ago, maybe like in April or May. So I'm going to get an early signed copy of Katabasis, and I'm also bringing my copy of Babel because this is one of the books that actually got me back into reading back in, I think 2022 I read this book. And not only are we going to get the signed copy of her new book, but she has said we can get one other book signed as well. So I'm bringing this one. I have also read The Poppy War, but Babel just holds a special place in my heart in compared to The Poppy War. I'm really excited. I will try and get as much footage as possible. I do find it really weird filming in public. But first of all, I need to get myself to Cambridge. Thankfully, my dad actually lives out that way, so I'm going to take the dog with me. I'm going to drop him off. He's going to spend the evening chilling at my dad's house while I go off gallivanting around Cambridge. And hopefully I'm going to meet some nice fantasy book nerds because I'm going on my own, and I always feel like going to events on your own can feel a little bit intimidating, but we're going to give it a go and we're going to have fun.
Thank you, that was a lovely introduction. Thank you.
It has been nearly a week since I went to the RF Kuang Katabasis signing. Here's my copy. Isn't she gorgeous? Got a signature there. And then I also got my copy of Babel signed, as you can see. Very exciting. I wanted to talk about this book because I'm pretty much exactly halfway through, as you can see. But this is my first ever special edition, and I've never understood the hype. I'm like, why do people care so much about special editions? Why do you care? Why are you spending so much money? I barely buy hardbacks, especially not full price. So owning a special edition was just something that I had never prioritized. But this copy is stunning, and I'm so glad I have it. But I wanted to give my halfway through thoughts. So far, it's giving if Cambridge University somehow had a baby with Dante's Inferno, but that baby was raised on Greek mythology as well as Chinese mythology and a whole bunch of chalk. That is all this book is giving so far, and I am obsessed with it. I literally have nothing negative to say. I'm really enjoying my reading experience. I'm finding it very immersive. I'm finding that the characters have a lot of depth. The world building, the world is literally in hell, but this particular hell is a mirror of Cambridge University and a mirror of academia. There are a lot of comparisons between academia and hell. So I did read a review, but I didn't read the review. I kind of saw the first couple of lines of a review on Goodreads that said that it's basically RF Kuang bragging and showing off about how well read she is. Don't get me wrong, To an extent, I agree. I have had to read this book so far with either my phone or like my iPad close by so that I can Google references that I don't understand. And I've also read it with a pencil in my hand so I can like scribble down what these references mean. But like, if I had a master's degree from Oxford, a master's degree from Cambridge, and I was doing a PhD at Yale, I would be writing books to showcase how intelligent I was as well. Yes, she is showing off how well read she is, but also why shouldn't she? And also, in person, she was surprisingly funny. And this book is also surprisingly funny. Like, there are just these snippets of this very witty, dry humour that I really, really appreciate. Sometimes I find it surprising, especially when it comes from American authors. No offense to Americans, but like us Brits are famous, I think, for having a very dry sense of humour. And I think you can tell that she's definitely spent time in the UK or just has that sense of humour in general. But yes, I'm really, really enjoying this so far. I think the day I'm recording this is actually the release day that it comes out. So I'm really excited to finish it off and see what everyone else has to say about it as well. I will check in when I'm done, which won't take me very long because I'm flying through this, which says something because this is a chunky book.
That's for you. Get it. Doesn't know what to do.
Spoiled boy. We went to a wedding yesterday, and because of that, I very fortunately booked today off of work as well. Today is Thursday, the wedding was yesterday on Wednesday, and I'm feeling very, very grateful that I booked today off as well, even though I'm not hungover and we didn't stay over, because that has meant I'm going to finish this book. I did read a fair bit earlier and didn't film anything. I've just sat down to read and realised I am only 100 pages away from the finish. So I'm going to finish this book tonight. It is so good. This is everything that I have wanted. It is so deeply character focused. It's just such an intelligent piece of literature. I just keep Googling things so that I understand the references more and more. And I'm really intrigued to see how R.F. Kuang wraps up this story. So yes, let's finish this book. Okay, so I finished Katabasis by R.F. Kuang 2 days ago. I actually finished it in that previous clip that you would have just seen. And overall, I absolutely loved it. It is definitely a 5-star read for me. But then I really, really love this dark academia fantasy. It just scratches an itch that I don't even realise I have until I pick up these books, okay? I fully stand by my earlier statement, which is that this book is Cambridge University or dark academia meets Dante's Inferno, mixed in with a bunch of mythology, mainly Greek mythology and some Chinese mythology, and a whole load of chalk. Chalk is the magic system in this book, whereas in Babel, if you've read that, then the magic system you'll know is silver. So in this book, they are magicians and they use chalk to draw like their pentagrams on the ground, and that is the magic system. I've seen a lot of reviews where it's basically people saying that R.F. Kuang is just showing off how much she knows. Yes, she is. And again, I think I mentioned that earlier, and I stand by that because she's obviously a very, very intelligent woman and she's drawing on these other themes. In my opinion, you don't necessarily need to understand all of these references in order to read the book. Like, you just don't need to. You can just move on and still enjoy the book regardless. I did Google them because I like to know more. So my copy is just littered with little, like in pencil, where I've just Googled who these characters are, what these words mean, and why it is significant. But you absolutely don't need to do that in order to read and understand this book. I would say it's definitely more character based than plot based. Don't get me wrong, it is about two characters who are journeying to hell. Obviously, you can't go to hell without shit happening. So there is a fairly snappy plot, but it is very, very character focused and very introspective. It is about Alice Law, who is a Chinese American PhD student who is journeying to hell to rescue the soul of her tutor so that she can pass a thesis or something along those lines. And with her is her academic rival, Peter. R.F. Kuang has described this as a romance. I will say the romance is very, very light. I would not read this if you are after a romantasy. It's not. This is a fantasy. This is at its heart a critique of academia, because it literally says the words like hell is a campus. It kind of mirrors what they know, and Alice and Peter know Cambridge University and they know academia. So for them, in this interpretation of that, hell is a campus. And it has all of these different layers that kind of really link in with Dante's Inferno. Again, I don't think you need to have read Dante's Inferno. I have not read it. I watched a YouTube video about it and it gave me more than enough information to read and understand this book quite well. And like I said before, anything that I missed, I would just Google it if I thought I'd missed a reference. I think it was really cleverly done. And it was also surprisingly witty and surprisingly funny. This is a book about mental health, so there are times where it does get that bit darker. And when I went to the talk last week, she even said herself that this is a book about mental health. This is a book about suicide. This is a book about her processing a point where she felt really, really low because her husband was really poorly. And in writing this book, she had to come to terms with the fact that this is a book about suicide. And I think going into this book knowing that, you will start to see, oh shit, yes. Okay, that makes sense. Again, I don't think you need to know that in order to enjoy this book, but obviously if you watch this video now, you will know that. But given that at times this is quite introspective, this is very much talking about mental health, it is still witty and it is still funny. She just has this very dry, witty writing style and this dry humour that I think comes across very, very well. I think it's very difficult sometimes to get that across but that just shows like how brilliant she is as a writer. I love dark academia fantasy. I think I need to read it more and more and more, but I'm so glad that I picked up this book. I will finish this video here because I think more than anything it is turned into a Katabasis reading blog because there's not very much else going on in my life at the minute. So thank you for watching. If you have watched this all the way through, I really appreciate it. I'm new to making videos, so I'm still honing my skills. I'm still learning how to film. If you do pick this book up, I hope you really enjoy it. If you have picked this book up, I would love to know what you think. I've tried to keep this spoiler free. But yeah, if you've watched this, just know that I appreciate you. And I hope you have a great day, whatever you're doing.